to my channel. My name's Penny.
I'm him.
He's him. Now that's Howard. Sometimes he's in my videos, sometimes he's not. Yeah, welcome back to my channel. My name's Penny. If you like vlogs, fashion, a bit of beauty, sometimes crafts, not very often though.
Good looking vlogs.
Shut up. Hauls, anything like that. If you like that sort of content, please consider giving me a like and a subscribe. Hit the button down there somewhere. I keep going over 900 and then they keep dropping off again. Will I ever get to my 1000? That is the question. I would really love to hit 1000. So guys, if you wouldn't mind helping me out, I would be ever so grateful. So today we're out in the car again and I thought I'd do a bit of a life update for you. So basically, a lot of you know that our daughter hasn't been well. It's been a fiasco of grand proportions, hasn't it?
Disgusting how she's been treated.
It's been terrible. She's been treated awfully. So it started off, I haven't really gone into much detail. I've just said she's been ill and she's been in hospital. I haven't really said a lot. So basically, she had appendicitis and she was taken into hospital. They prepped her for surgery, signed all the forms, she was all ready to go. The anaesthetist came to see her and everything. And at the very last minute, somebody phoned up, we don't know who, and said, no, it's not appendicitis, don't operate, we'll treat her with antibiotics. So she came off the surgery list and she was treated with antibiotics. She was kept in hospital for 5 days. She was on intravenous antibiotics and painkillers. She started throwing up violently and the pain was intensifying. She was really ill, so they ordered a CT scan. CT scan came back that it was appendicitis and she should have been operated on, but they also found fluid in her abdomen, which they wasn't sure what that was down to basically. So they treated her for an intra-abdominal infection. Can't get my words out, guys. And basically they sent her home. So we went back to our GP, who took one look at the scan results and said it is appendicitis. Anyone with half an eye can see it's appendicitis. It's clear from the scan and from how she's presenting. She said, I'm not happy that she's home. I'm going to send you straight back in again. So back to the hospital. This time she waited 12 hours to be seen by a doctor who was appalled that she'd been treated with antibiotics. But when they did another scan, they said that the appendix had gone back to normal. So they're saying that this was a acute appendicitis rather than a chronic, which basically means it could flare up again at any time. So she was sent back home and she just didn't seem to get any better. We went back to our doctors again and again we were sent back to the hospital. This was the third time now, guys. We were waiting and waiting. They put her on a drip. They did another CT scan. They said everything looked normal. They said that there was nothing else they could do for her from a surgical point of view, and they sent her home 3 times. By this time, she started getting breathless. She was very weak, very lethargic. And she was just poorly, really, really poorly. Wasn't she bad?
Very bad.
Really bad. So back to the doctors. Doctor did a urine test and sent off some bloods. The urine test came back that Becca had contracted E. coli, which had obviously been contracted while she was in the hospital. So a letter of complaint had gone in. Our doctor advised us to put a letter of complaint in. Due to the way she'd been treated, the appendix should have come out in the first place. If they'd come out, she'd have come home, she'd have got well, she wouldn't have gone back in and she wouldn't have contracted the E. coli. So now her body is fighting all this infection and trying to recover itself, but she's still feeling really, really poorly. So we went back to the doctors yesterday and she was sent back in. But this time she wasn't sent to the surgical unit, she was sent to the medical unit. We were told there were 200 people in front of her. There was a 10-hour waiting list and there were no seats. But because she was breathless and very weak and very clammy, they took her to the COVID department, guys. So we were terrified that she was going to contract COVID. But to cut a long story short, she had a COVID test. It came back negative. We will do a lateral flow test in a week or so, just in case. They said that it was her body just recovering. They said that she'd been hit with two major things. Appendicitis or E. coli were bad enough on their own, but to be hit with them both pretty much at the same time, her body was under a lot of pressure, a lot of strain. So yeah, basically what she's suffering now is her body trying to recover. Her heart rate is extremely high at the minute, because she's still fighting off the infection. But we're just disgusted at the way she's been treated. I mean, I know the NHS are under a great deal of pressure at the moment with COVID, but there's just no need of it, is there, Hal?
Well, just because there's COVID around doesn't mean no one else ever gets ill from something else, does it?
No.
And that's the problem. They're treating that the whole thing is just COVID. It's ridiculous.
So I'm hoping she's going to recover anyway. And she's home. She's home, that's the good thing. So throughout all this, I had a suspicious looking a mark, a patch of skin on my hand. In the past, I'd had 2 incidences of skin cancer, which had been treated. They weren't severe. They were treated with a topical chemotherapy cream. So when this thing came up on my hand, I still had some of this cream in the house. So I started applying it. But this patch got bigger and bigger and redder, more uneven looking. So I went to the doctors. Should have gone sooner, but with everything that was happening with our daughter, I just didn't. Went to the doctors and the doctor examined it and said that it looked suspicious and he was going to refer me to dermatology. They phoned me and said that I was to go and see them. It was last Friday. So I went to see them. And apparently my doctor had sent in an urgent skin cancer referral. But I didn't know this. He didn't tell me. He just said it looked a little bit suspicious. So, to cut a long story short, guys, it isn't skin cancer. And it has died back a bit. It's fading. It's a something keratosis. I can't remember the name of the word. I've got a lot going on at the minute. My brain, my head is everywhere. But it's not cancer. So that was good news. We're out in the car and we're going to pop into Poundland. So if there's nobody around, I will have a little vlog while we're in the shop. Take my mind off things. But if it's busy, I will pop back on in a minute. So speak to you soon, guys. Do you need anything by here? You find the shit out of me now. Oh, that's nice. That's nice for £7. I'm just trying to surreptitiously video because there's the woman by there stocking. What? These are nice. They're really nice. £15 for those big knitted throws. That's really good. Oh look, they got the scenery behind the wall. They're really cute.
Any occasion. Take your pick from well-known brands such as Xbox, Nintendo, Sony PlayStation, Just Eat, Netflix, and so much more. There's a gift for everyone. Grab them at checkout.
Sneak peek. Managed to find the nose. Lots of craft stuff in here. Lots of craft stuff. We only went to Poundland. I did get a few bits that I wanted, and I also managed to get the gongs. I really wanted those gongs. So while we were there, we popped into TK Maxx, and I thought I would show you what they had for Halloween, and they had bugger all. There was nothing in there, the shelves were bare. So that was a complete waste of time. So we're heading home now. It's nearly 8 o'clock. It's still quite light, even though the sky does look like it's getting darker. That made no sense at all, but you can see what I mean. So yeah, all done. It was just a quick pop out, just to get a bit of fresh air really, and just to get out on our own, because we've been stuck in the house for so long with our daughter, with one thing and another, either at the hospital or the doctors, or just stuck at home with her not feeling well. So we thought we would just pop out for a bit. Anything to add before I say goodbye to everyone?
Excuse me, no, sort of knackered.
Sorry, it's tonsils then, guys.